Yo, what's up guys? Corey Sandman Sandhagen here. Welcome to the channel where we talk about everything martial arts. Today we're going to do a breakdown of the Paddy versus Tony fight, while also kind of addressing whether or not Paddy is going to live up to the hype that I feel like a lot of people want. I like him. I like his character. I think he teeters on confidence and arrogance, which is a compliment. Like, I think that he's kind of found that really nice spot where I don't look at the guy and be like, oh, this is the most arrogant POS in the entire world, but I'm also not like, oh, this is the, most humble dude in the world. So I kind of like where he lands on that spectrum of, confidence and arrogance. I think it's fun. I think it's interesting. I think his fight style is, it needs a little bit more experience, but I think where he is in his career, let's not forget that that was either his third or fourth fight in the UFC, which is impressive, like he's really shown up. Obviously, the guy knows how to handle pressure, so let's get into the Ferguson-Tony or Tony and Paddy fight, and then we'll talk a little bit more about if Paddy is the real deal or not. All right, guys, first things first, let's get into the actual matchup of Paddy versus Tony, okay? Obviously, me being a giant Tony fan, just like how I know everyone is, because who else brings their bearded dragon, lizard, Houdini to fight week, and David Goggins? Like, I'm very confused as to how Tony even got that lizard onto an airplane. If that's allowed, then I'm about to get a lizard and bring that thing around with me all the time. But anyways, the matchup, man, just super glad that Tony didn't get hurt a little bit more than, that fight was kind of trending towards. Tony is definitely a durable guy, but the way that he gets hit now, it looks like his body, maybe not his mind, because his mind is, of course, super strong, but his body looks like it doesn't like taking shots. Like, he turns away from them a little bit too. So Paddy hit him with some good shots in that first round. I'm kind of glad that the rest of it was grappling so that that fight didn't turn into, another Gaethje versus Tony fight. But that's just my opinion. I love the guy. I just didn't want to see the guy get hurt. So let's talk about Paddy a little bit. Paddy obviously is really big for the weight class, okay? Like that super popular, famous picture of his face and his body probably blown up to around 200 pounds after his fights. Super notorious for being that way, okay? Paddy's obviously a big guy, and I think that where Paddy excels the most is in his grappling and in his very powerful, maybe not punches, but definitely his kicks. He looks like, because he kind of has this, like, I don't know, scoozer style. Is that how you say that, Elias? Skeezer, scoozer? What do they call themselves in English? No. Whatever. Gypsy. Yeah, not gypsies. Scoozer style or however it is that you say that, okay? Where it's kind of like this Paddy, like padding with the arm, like looks weird, not super athletic looking in his legs, but a little bit walky. And what I mean by walky is he's kind of just like walking around the cage. It's not a ton of like being in this type of stance. It's more like here, and then he'll explode into some punches when he tries to time those as good as he can. He definitely kicks really hard too. I think that if Paddy can get his kicks to be one of his major weapons, I think that it will go a really long way. I like this style. He throws really hard kicks. I like that. Also, I think Paddy's a really good grappler. He obviously knows what he's doing as far as like eating up people's space. Like when he had Tony mounted, it did not look easy to get out. The way that his legs were pinched on Tony when he was in mount looked like that would have required a lot of effort in order for Tony to be able to get out. So Paddy is definitely a good grappler, definitely has his own unique style of striking that I think would be a little bit better if he would really hammer some of those kicks home. As far as being some of the things that he could potentially get a little bit better at, and again, I'm not like trying to shit on Paddy at all because, like I said, I think he's only got 3 or 4 fights in the UFC. When you look at me, 3 or 4 fights into the UFC too, like I didn't have everything figured out either. So that being said, this like high chin when he's attacking has potential to be a problem, okay? When you back up and you have your chin really high and you're kind of one of these guys, it's like significantly hard to hit a guy that's backing up like this than a guy that's backing up like this, which I know is very counterintuitive, but for whatever reason, this is very difficult to find more than this kind of ducked cover. So Paddy gets away with it moving backwards like a lot of people do, okay? But moving forward, this is going to be a problem, okay? Especially when you're relying a lot on the timing of things and not the positional advantage of things. So what I mean by that is if I'm like this and I'm just waiting for this person to get into range or to throw something so that I can counter, and then I hit, eventually, in my opinion, he's likely going to get caught with something big. And the dude has a chin, and being durable will get you a really long way in the sport, but you don't want to put too many eggs in that basket, okay? When you're trying to attack like this, it's sometimes better to get the person moving some and then find your timing off of that instead of off of their mistake, okay? It's just a little bit more of this reliable concept that I talk about. If you can make people do things reliably, that's a lot better than waiting on them to make mistakes. Definitely some things that Paddy can work on. Honestly, I think that Paddy has a really long way to go in the UFC. I think he's going to do some super awesome things. I think that he is really good for being 3 or 4 fights in, because I don't want it to, you know, he definitely is not bad by any means. But like I said, when you're 3 or 4 fights into the UFC, you just got a lot to work on. I like his attitude. I like his character. I think that, you know, he doesn't cross the line with talking trash. I think that he rides that line of confidence and arrogance really well. And I'm a fan of the guy. So I hope that he does really well. Kind of bummed to watch Tony lose, you know. But, yeah, like and subscribe below. Let me know if you guys think Paddy's the real deal or if he's just one of those hyped up guys that's going to eventually run into someone good and lose. Let me know in the comments. Peace. I love you. Bye.